Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar about PeelPioneers. Everybody is coming in, so take a few moments before we kick off. Yeah, I already see lots of people. That's great. Okay, then I will kick it off. So welcome everybody. Really nice that you are able to join this webinar about PeelPioneers. So today we're going to learn more about PeelPioneers and how they keep citrus waste in the value chain by turning it into valuable ingredients for food and cosmetic purposes. So we will deep dive together with Bas and Roderick into PeelPioneers and the proposition and the business. And of course, we will also discuss the investment opportunity. And for this, Roderick Ruinaert joined us from Invesdor. He's an investment manager at Invesdor. And Bas van Wieringen, the CEO and co-founder of PeelPioneers. So before I kick off, briefly introduce myself, and then we'll let Bas and Roderick introduce themselves. I'm Sabine Beuk. I'm a co-owner of Generous Minds, and we are a cooperative based in the Netherlands of 35 co-owners, and we support with expertise and access to capital really great companies like PeelPioneers that want to make a significant contribution to our world, so a better planet. And we team up with PeelPioneers because of their proven track record in preventing citrus waste and also reducing significant CO2 emissions. So only in 3 years, PeelPioneers already saved 20,000 tons of CO2. So this for us as Generous Minds is a really important reason that we team up with them. And of course, yeah, a very dedicated team of which you will see more today. So I will go now to the introductions. Bas, can you briefly start?
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Great to have you all on this call. My name is Bas van Wieringen, and I'm the co-founder of and current CEO at PeelPioneers. We are very glad to have you in this call and very glad that we are doing this crowdfunding campaign, which is already successful after just 1 week and 2 days. We are especially very thankful for you, Sabine, to support us on this, and also for Roderick, because it is for us a new terrain. We have quite some experience in raising funding from professional investors. And this is for us a new way, and we are very happy that we can let a new group of people join our mission. And it wouldn't be possible to do that without Invesdor. So great to have you all on this call. And in the next 15 minutes from the PeelPioneer side, we will share at a glimpse where we are, where we come from, and where we are heading to. And in the second half of this call, more than happy to also answer questions from this group.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, Bas. Thank you for your introduction. And Roderick, can you do the same?
Yeah, hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Roderick indeed, and I'm investment manager at Invesdor, which means that I help companies like PeelPioneers, companies that are actively contributing to the sustainable development goals with their fundraising with our large group of investors all over Europe. I have a background in, always in sustainable investments, mainly for startup and scale-up companies. And we're really proud that PeelPioneers gave the trust in us to do this fundraising with them. I will explain a little bit about Invesdor, about the process that we've done together with PeelPioneers, and of course, what the investment opportunity that you have is today. So I'll be back a little bit later in this session.
Thank you, Roderick. And for everybody, so the Bas already mentioned, so the first 15 to 20 minutes is about PeelPioneers. If any questions pop up that you haven't shared with us before the webinar, please share them in the chat. We will make sure to address them all. within the time. And the second half, we will address them. So after the presentation. Yeah, so feel free to share your questions.
And to complete this introduction round, it would also be great to give the stage to Sietse, my co-founder.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Welcome to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sietse van Stamford. Together with Bas and Lindy, founded PeelPioneers almost 8 years ago, and I'm currently responsible for technology within the PeelPioneers team. And I'll be also sharing some information during the call.
Great, thank you, Sietse. And yeah, I think Bas and Sietse, go ahead and kick it off.
So, as Sietse mentioned, the three of us, Sietse, Lindy, and myself, we founded the company in 2017. And we started with the three of us from the idea that it is such a waste, literally, that we throw away and destroy big amounts, big piles of orange peel, while there is so much value in this so-called waste stream. So we started with the company in 2017 with the mission to save citrus peel from misuse and keep it in the value chain by turning the peel in a range of ingredients for food and cosmetic purposes. And by now, we have a operation of 50 people who have joined us in the company. And together we have almost we have more than 150 years of food and chemical experience onboarded in the company. And to give you an idea of the size, we process roughly 7 trucks per day of orange peel each and every day, 7 days a week. And we have a factory located in the Netherlands, Den Bosch, in the south of the Netherlands, where we have roughly 2 football fields full of stainless steel to do the job. And right now, you were talking to Sietse and myself. Sietse has a technology focus. I have a commercial and general focus, and we are guided by a very experienced board containing of these 4 people who help us not only to focus on bringing the company to the weekly targets, but also to at the same time think ahead of where do we have to be and where do we want to be in 5 years, and what do we have to do today, next month, and the first month of next year in order to make sure we will get there in the long run. I'm sure most of you who read for the first time about PeelPioneers had a lot of questions. Why orange peel? Why orange peel in a country where there's no orange industry? Where do you get your peel from? How do you make sure you collect this in the right way in a food safe manner? All these kinds of questions are typical for a first time introduction of PeelPioneers. And just to give you a brief idea on how the journey of the peel looks like before it's being saved by us. So we collect the orange peel in 2,500 outlets in the Netherlands twice a week. This means that we stop twice a week at 2,500 locations to collect the small bins underneath the juicing machines in store. And if I talk about outlets or in store, I mean supermarkets, caterers, lunchroom where you get your espresso, but also your fresh juice with your sandwich, big canteens of large companies. Those are typical the locations where you will find such a juicing machine. And underneath those juicing machine, maybe you haven't noticed it before, but you will notice it the next time you will see one of these machines. Every time somebody produces it as a customer its own orange juice, the waste or the peel falls into a bin underneath the juicing machine, and we collect those bins at least twice a week. And we do not do it ourselves because we started doing that in 2017, but it is by now a too complex logistical situation, and we chose to focus on technology, operations in our factory, and not to focus on collection. So we have a great partner, which is called Renewy. It's a large Dutch and London-listed waste collection company, and they collect for us the peel. They bring it to our gate, and from that moment on, we start extracting various ingredients from the peel. And the only thing which leaves our premises is water. And see if you can take it from here.
Yes, thank you, Bas. If we can continue to the next slide, please. All right, so, yeah, this is the one. So Bas just mentioned how the supply chain works, and on this slide you see a lot of logos, because it's always good to have a slide with logos. We've learned so far in our journey, but these logos make sense as well. In the top you see a few big names of supermarkets, and for those of you who are not from the Netherlands, we've got contracts with the biggest retailers in the Netherlands, where a lot of consumers drink orange juice, and this orange juice results in citrus peel. More than half the fruit that is juiced is actual peel, so that's a lot. It's brought to us by Renewy, the biggest commercial waste collection company active in the Netherlands, and we convert it into different resources, different products. What is good about our business model, it's a two-sided business model. We get paid for receiving our feedstock. So even if we've done nothing yet, we already make revenue. So that was a great start when we started out a couple of years ago. And the other logos on the slides are customers of ours, and I'm not going to discuss all of them, but to mention just a few. IFF is a big company active in the fragrance and flavor industry, and we mainly sell our essential oils, which is one of the products that we make from the peel, to this company. Pioneer is another one that I want to mention, because it's also featured in a small film that we've made, which is live on the Invesdor platform, and they use our fiber, which is a very important ingredient that we'll discuss later again, to make a very nice creamy mayonnaise without any additives, so without any other emulsifying agents. So these are some of the customers that we serve with the products that we make from the peel. And to show you a little bit about the past, it's always good to look into the future, but looking back is also very helpful. We started out in 2017 with a validation of our first technology, making the orange oil, which is an aroma from orange peel, with a technology that is not used anywhere else in the world. And we built a first smaller plant in a different location in the Netherlands. And then 2 years later, we added a new technology, making another product, because we're constantly looking for how can we valorize the orange peel that we receive as best as we can, both for ecological as well as economic purposes. So that was the candied orange cubes that we make. And then we launched in 2022 a new plant in Den Bosch, the one you also saw a picture from just now in the slide that Bas presented, where we, next to making these other products, also produced a fiber with as brand name Phoenix. We'll talk about it much more. And since we have an international focus as well, we did a pilot in Spain, a country which is warm enough to actually grow citrus fruits and naturally has a lot of citrus peel. So there we use lemon peel together with our technology to make a fiber, a citrus fiber, which is also a functional ingredient with very interesting properties. But it doesn't stop with these 3 products. We're looking actively both on lab and pilot scale ourselves, but also with partners at further valorization. So we're exploring new ingredients like colorants and flavonoids, converting the sugars in our wastewater to all kinds of proteins and enzymes. So there's much more revenue to be made from the peel that we have. And in the lower half of the slide, you can also see that we've developed a few patents. Right now, we have 3 patents that are already granted, but many more are still pending and in the innovation pipeline. Yeah, and this is the Phoenix fiber, a close-up image of a nice white powder. We sometimes have trouble sending this white powder around the world because people confuse it for other substances, which are also potent, but not what we do. We make a functional ingredient, which with a really new technology, a cutting-edge technology, which has unique properties, especially interested for the food market. So it emulsifies really well. So it binds oil and water. It gels. It binds water. It binds oil. So all these functional properties that you need and require in various food applications. And because it's a very neutral ingredient, it's white, it doesn't smell or look like orange, it doesn't taste like orange, we can use it in a really broad range of applications. So we're really proud to have, being only a small company, have developed this very interesting product out of something that others consider a waste stream. And this fiber is really interesting for a lot of different companies. So there's a lot of interest for the product that we've been making now in Den Bosch, and it's really the driver for our business model right now.
And why are we highlighting especially these ingredients, as we showed already that we have also other ingredients in our portfolio? Is that this will make our business grow, and this will also make us unique towards the future. As Sietse calls it in the right way, the driver for growth. And then if I take this one and I look at the total market, so why are we so enthusiastic about this innovation? We managed to get on a industrial scale commercially available now, after years of testing, trying, failing, learning, and testing again, and now we are selling this beautiful orange fiber in a market which is not only big, but it's also growing pretty steep with an 8% CAGR every year. As we know, investors like market sizes and also like acronyms like TAM, SAM, and SOM. We have put in a slide for you to give you a bit of an idea on how does market size and potential looks like. And there you see that the orange fiber with the functionalities Sietse just explained. It's a part of the hydrocolloid family, which is a well-known range of ingredients with functionalities like emulsifying, like water holding and water binding, oil holding, and other functionalities Sietse already mentioned. So the market we are targeting is hydrocolloids. And within that market, we are targeting especially food and cosmetics as our beachhead markets. So if you look at the TAM, we consider it a hydrocolloid family within the functionality range we produce. If you look at the SAM, we target within that large group, we target food and cosmetics. And if we're talking about the SOM, that's where we took the geographical angle of which Europe is our beachhead market with our orange fiber, and that's where the 168 million comes from today, and it's growing pretty fast every year with an 8% CAGR. Also driven by huge demand for upcycled ingredients. And those were macroeconomic figures. Then if we deep dive into PeelPioneers itself, it looks like in this figure that we didn't produce or sold everything in the first years. That's not the case, but I think it shows the ambition we have, and it didn't fit into one graph. If we didn't took this high yearly revenue numbers. So two things I want to highlight is that over the past years, as a new company in food ingredients collected from a formerly waste stream, we managed in this difficult landscape to grow year over year when you look at the revenue. So every year we have more revenue, significantly more revenue, and that's a combination of making sure we keep the current customer base. So once you are a customer of PeelPioneers, you're not really willing to leave, and that's due to the great product market fit we have, and we are able to add new customers to the company every year, and that makes the combination of the growth you've seen so far. We've highlighted citrus fiber or orange fiber, our orange fiber in the citrus fiber in the hydrocolloid market already in this presentation, and we've just last year started producing this on a commercial scale and selling it, and we have high expectations, which we can also have more tangible in our pipeline, in our sales pipeline, as the growth driver for the next year. So that's one thing I want to highlight: revenue increase in the past, and where we see revenue grow in the future in the Netherlands, but also in a facility in Spain which does exactly the same as we do here, but only on a different location, and on a bigger scale, even a bigger scale than we do today. So that's about the revenue. What I also want to address, and this is something which makes us very attractive for professional investors, and is also the reason why we already have a very impressive list of investors onboarded on the cap table, and at PeelPioneers, is because we have a very interesting EBITDA margin potential. So we have a EBITDA margin which is more towards biotech, but we have the capex not of biotech, luckily, but of a food tech company. So that combination makes us, in my opinion, and also in the opinion of the current cap table, a very interesting case to look at and invest in. So if we're talking about the investment round we currently have in the Invesdor platform, as we have built 3 scenarios, and that's not because we love scenarios to build, but to make sure we are prepared for things to go differently, or things to go in other directions, as we just have the medium scenario in place. So we want to make sure that it is very explicit that in case we will have the scenario where we raise during the campaign 2.5 million, we will make sure 90% of the funding goes to the plant we have in Den Bosch, to make sure we improve it and to increase capacity. You saw on the previous slide also a large increase still in Den Bosch, and we want to make sure, if the minimum scenario is reached, that we take most of the efforts for the Den Bosch plant to improve and to increase capacity. If we reach the medium scenario, in which we raise between 2.5 and 4.25 million euros, still we will invest a lot in improving and increasing capacity of the fiber production in Den Bosch, the factory in the Netherlands, but it also enables us to go faster in preparing for the next jump, for the big jump, and our next step towards a larger factory in Spain. And that means that 30% of the funds we will use to prepare for Spain, and 70% still goes to Den Bosch. In case we reach the maximum scenario of 4.25 to 5.75 million euros. It's labeled here as the minimum scenario, but it is actually the maximum scenario. And I want to make sure that in that case, we are even more enabled to not only focus on Den Bosch, the plant and the improvement and increasing of the capacity just right here where we are at this moment. Not only do we spend additional funding on Spain, but we also can boost our innovation funnel. So we know there's a lot of potential. Sietse already addressed some of the potential we see. We have a lot of IP prepared. We have a lot of eager people in our lab waiting to take it to the next level, but we want to make sure we only focus on that, and we call that super fiber. That's an acronym for, or that's another word for our innovation funnel, to make sure we are even suited to spend money on stuff not taken into account in the revenue forecast you saw for the next year. So this would be a add-on and a bonus, and we are very eager to get to that scenario because we see so much potential, and we want to make sure that we are the ones tapping in on that potential.
Yeah, and as this campaign and fundraising we're doing now through Invesdor is aimed at growing our business, it of course is necessary to talk about the economic impact we're making. And I think Bas showed a nice slide where we see that there's a lot of economic potential. But next to that, we also, as a company and as founding management team, strongly believe in another type of impact. So what I'm talking about is a sustainability impact or ecological impact. And what is important, that's important to us, and we also want to share that in this call because it might be a reason for people to join our calls. So by our existence, we save orange peel that would otherwise end up as waste, and predominantly this waste in the Netherlands goes to waste incineration plants. And that you don't realize as a consumer, but that is not a very efficient thing to do. Why is that? Because orange peel consists for more than 80% of water. So for every 1,000 kilograms of orange peel, you have 800 kilograms of water. And if you throw these peels in a waste incinerator, that essentially means that you're burning water. And that is not a very economic or efficient or ecological responsible thing to do. The peel that enters our facility is converted into products, and by doing so, we keep the molecules in the peel in the value chain, and thus save any virgin materials that would have to be imported and harvested from having to be available. So instead of burning water, we try to save the components that Mother Nature has provided for us and make them available to our consumers. So that's, let's say, the ecological sustainability impact, which really focuses on reducing CO2, which is of course something that we need to do as a society in a broad sense. So we're helping doing that, helping our consumers and customers and suppliers to realize their goals in that regard. And next to that, we also, as a company, try to address other SDGs. You see 3 SDGs mentioned on this slide. I also see one typo. We not have a diverse workforce, but a diverse workforce of around 50 people of different types of education and different type of background. And we also really strongly believe that that makes us unique as a company and help us realize our impact goals.
So just to finish off to finish our part, I think it's good to also show you the confidence we got from a large group of investors and financiers in the Netherlands who are supporting us for a long time, and some of them already from the start in 2017, with the three of us and still active as a investor and partner today. And to finish our part of this presentation, so to sum up, and it's a bit awkward to say it about yourself, but I will do it. To sum up, we are a highly scalable circular innovator. I think there is, especially in our market domain, not a lot of companies who will reach a scale beyond pilot and demo and reach an industrial and commercial scale with a circular concept. We are active in a market as a drop-in, so there is already an existing market, and this market is growing pretty fast, as mentioned earlier in this call. We are entering this market. We are active in this market and entering on a global in the global theater with our own circular cutting edge technology, of which investors explained multiple times already that they call it our secret sauce. We have a strong investor base in the Netherlands, also with ties to other regions in Europe, and looking to expand that in the future as well. But it's already a strong investor base, very active, and still active as well. And as Sietse just mentioned, besides growing for euros, we do that hand in hand with creating impact. And in our vision, this is not a or, but it is a and. I'm very proud that we show that both of them go hand in hand.
Thank you, Bas and Sietse. And now we will turn to Roderick.
Thank you very much, Bas and Sietse, for this inspiring story. I've heard it a couple of times, obviously, because we've been talking to each other for a couple of months in preparation of this investment round. But from the first moment I visited your factory in Den Bosch, I was very much impressed by the uniqueness of what you guys are doing over there. And I think this story summarizes it really well for our investors. So I'm happy with that. So in the next slide, there's the purpose of what we want to do as Invesdor. So we are, a lot of people in the call probably know us already, but maybe there are also some new people. We are the largest impact investment platform in Europe, and our goal is to match or to help our investors find unique investment opportunities to help to make the world a little bit better. The energy transition, sustainability, circularity, social impact, those are the target areas that we focus on. And we believe that with PeelPioneers, this is a perfect match between our investor base, their goals, and what PeelPioneers is looking for: capital, ambassadors, and the material to make their next steps in their growth journey. So on the next slide, a little bit some numbers about investors. So we've been doing this for over 10 years already. There are 190,000 people that are investing through our platform, which we're very proud of, and it shows that a lot of people found a way or an alternative into stock exchange investing or savings, but put their money to work into the areas, the companies that need it the most and that can make the change that we need right now. We've done over 1,000 projects and over 500 million in funding, and this is a portfolio selection. So some names that you might be familiar with: Next Kidney, Fairphone, Yoni, a lot of consumer companies that have been successful on our platform. The next one. Good to highlight today, I think, is the role and services that we provide to PeelPioneers, but on the other side also to you as an investor. So from the initial discussions we had with PeelPioneers, obviously they have a cool story to tell, an interesting story to tell. And it has been our job to verify that story for you as an investor. So we are the middleman between you and PeelPioneers. So we looked at the books from PeelPioneers, we looked at their presentations, we looked at their financials, and we made a report on that, which we presented internally to an investment committee of people with a lot of experience in impact investments, in banking. And well, we're fundraising now, so they passed this step, and we were very positive actually as to what the company's the current company situation is, but also their plans for the next couple of years. During the campaign, so which is actually right now, we are the platform where you can make your investment, where you can find all the information that you need. One of the things that I would like to mention specifically is the key investment information sheet. So we are regulated as a platform by the AFM, the financial regulator of the Netherlands. And there are a couple of rules that we have to comply with, obviously, and that's to help you making a balanced decision on your investment. And the key investment information sheet is an important document because it also shows the risks that are associated to your investment. It's also, and there are a lot of opportunities here, but it's also good to be informed about the potential risks. Well, we're already around 2 million euros raised. We collect those funds in an independent trust account, and they will be disbursed after the campaign to PeelPioneers. And simultaneously, you will or we will establish a financing agreement for you as an investor and PeelPioneers, so you don't have to worry about that. If when the campaign is successful, we will also do the management of the investment. So we will make sure you see the investment in your portfolio. We will make sure you get annual fiscal statements, and we'll be there for customer service questions. So we are the contact point in that sense. Yes, and then maybe the most important part of today, you're here because you maybe have already invested in PeelPioneers or you're thinking about investing in PeelPioneers. So you can find all information about the investment on our webpage. But here we made a summary. So if you invest in PeelPioneers, you'll be investing in a convertible bond, which means that you're providing a loan to the company, which you can convert into shares of the company at a later moment. We're raising between 1.75 and 5.75 million euros. And the minimum investment that you have to do is 250 euros. And you can do a multiple of that. So you can buy 1 bond or 10 bonds or 100 bonds. It doesn't matter. Whatever is your appetite. The tenor of the loan is 5 years and the interest rate is 10% per year. Important to mention here that this interest rate is not paid out every year. It's accrued to your initial investment, which means that if you decide to convert into shares, this amount will be added to the initial investment, for example, 250 euros. If you decide to not convert, you always have the option to say, I don't want to convert, then your bond, including the interest, will be repaid linearly until maturity. So until these 5 years from the start of the funding have passed. To give you a little bit of a special, well, it's not a special treatment, but you get a discount if you convert your investment into shares. So how does that work? So if a new investor steps in and invests in PeelPioneers, can be somewhere in the next 3 years, then they pay a certain price for those shares. Because you have invested already now and you took more risk in that sense, you will get a discount of 25% of the share price. So you will benefit from stepping in right now. Another conversion moment can be the sale of the company. So if PeelPioneers is sold in the next 3 years, then you will also have the option to convert your investment into shares and then immediately get paid because the company is sold at that moment. So you make your return on your investment at that moment. If one of those two situations don't occur within 3 years, you also get the option to convert your loan into shares after 3 years. So you always get this option. And yeah, the choice is up to you. So you can, if you convert, you can benefit from the value increase of the company. If you don't convert, the loan will be repaid, including the interest until maturity. All the terms you can find in the convertible bond terms. They are on our website. So always good to say, read them before you make your investment. Then the last important step, how do you invest in PeelPioneers? So you can find the project on our webpage. We have different domains, .com, .nl, .de, and .fi. These are the countries that we're active in. You can log in there or create an account if you don't have it yet. Important is that we have to comply with all the financial regulation. So we have to do an ID verification step. There's a tool online. It usually works well. Where you can verify that you are who you say you are. If you have problems with that, you can easily reach us on our customer support email and number, which will be on the last page of these slides. Well, you know it maybe if you have a stock exchange account on your bank, you have to answer some basic questions about investments. They are not hard. They will be like questions like, if I invest in PeelPioneers, I get my money back for sure, yes or no. Well, if you are investing in these companies, there are always risks associated. So this test will check if you can understand those risks. Everyone passes those tests, so don't worry about that. Then you get your personal information and the contract, as I just mentioned, with PeelPioneers, and you can make the payment through either iDeal or a bank transfer. And if the investment is finished, you can find your investment in your portfolio overview on our website.
All right. Thank you, Roderick, for a clear explanation, and Bas and Sietse as well. So now we will head to the questions, and we've received a lot of questions before, so that's great. And yeah, based on the question, Sietse, Bas, you can decide who can answer. And we have 1 or 2 questions in the chat. So let's start with the first question. Is that from the explanation in financial figures, I understand that a Series B of 35 million is planned in 2025. Is there any further information on this? Are there already commitments or interested parties, or is this process yet to start?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I will take this one. We are now preparing our next growth step towards Spain, and for this round, we will raise next year 30 to 40 million euros in that range, and we are currently engineering this round, in which we will partly, let's say, for 50% go for debt and incentives, which is another word for subsidies. And for 50% of this round, we will write the equity tickets. And currently, we are in contact with a large group and in conversation already with a large group of both equity investors, funds, as well as with Spanish government for incentives, and also with debt providers for the debt part. We already have a data room established. We also have people we are in conversations with about this data room already. But we do not have anything signed yet, as we are still preparing pretty much right now. And also have to do a lot of work in the next 12 months with your support to make sure we will do the best Series B possible with the best research and development we can do in the next 12 months possible. So yes, we do have a lot of traction. We have a clear view on the structuring of the round. And we are preparing every day to make sure that it is the best Series B possible for both us and our investor base.
Clear. Thank you, Bas. And one question that was linked to that, and then I'll move to a few questions in the chat. What is the dependency of the 30 million Series B round to realize the plans? So suppose this funding fails, will the company be viable?
The company as it is will be viable. The growth plans will not. So we will have a viable company in the Netherlands. You can call it an SME, or you can call it in Dutch, we call it schillenboer, Brabantse schillenboer. We will have a viable company just here in the Netherlands with our current operations. But our mission is not to save Dutch orange peel. Our mission is to save all citrus peel. And that means that there is a lot of foreign citrus peel for us as a Dutch company. So there's 100% link if in the success of the Series B next year and the 30 million euros mentioned, and our growth plans, not to the viability of our company.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Bas. That's clear. So one question came in, and the first part of that question I don't fully grasp, but let's go to the two and the third part. And if this person wants to still ask this question, please feel free to reach out to us directly to get your answer. The second part of this question is there any risk of Spanish expansion?
Sure. So we are, and let me define risk, but also be transparent. Yes, there is risk. Our technology is developed. Our market is developed and growing. I would say the biggest risk for us is going to a country, also it is within the European Union, where we do not have presence yet. So we have a pilot facility, which is very cute, and it is working, but we do not do real business in Spain. And I would say it would be very naive to look away from the risk of going to another country. Even within the European Union, you can drive there from the Netherlands. It's a long drive, but and you will have to stop to charge multiple times. But you can go there and still culture is different, way of doing business is different, way to interact with governments is different.
Yeah, so realistic is always good. And then the final part of this question was is your competitive position changing if you need to pay for peels in the future? Do you foresee that you need to pay for peels in the future?
This is a very good question. Kudos for the one asking it, and also something we have been looking at also in our sensitivity analysis. We know we have to pay for it in the future. And that's why we are, so right now we are getting paid. We know in the future we will have to pay for it. We anticipate on this. We do not know for sure, of course, but we anticipate on it. And why is this not a threat for us? It is because we are constantly in our lab under the lead of with Sietse in the lead, constantly looking at other ways to valorize peel, stacking it on top of what we currently earn already from each kilogram of peel. And this staggering of value means we are less and less dependent of the current gate fee we get for the peel, and also makes us able to pay for the peel in the future.
Yeah, clear. Thank you, Bas. And I think one question for Sietse, but you decide for yourself. So on the slide where you talk about the allocation of the funds from the investors, it is stated that a large portion will be going to process improvements. Can you elaborate on that? Are we talking about developing, optimizing processes, or upscaling of production capacity with already proven processes?
Finally, a technical question. Thank you for asking it. And it's a very valid question. As you can see in the pie charts presented in all three scenarios, a significant amount of the funds we raise through this campaign will be allocated to what we call internally PIP, which is Process Improvement Program. Everyone loves acronyms. We do as well. This is a whole list of different projects that focus on removing bottlenecks. I think it's important to state that we have a functioning process. We make a product that is produced and sold. The only thing limiting us now is making more of that. So essentially this PIP program focuses on eliminating bottlenecks, and we do that with technology expansions and let's say expansions of current machinery and processes that we have. That is not done by us alone. So we have a lot of help from established engineering firms. We've had many people look at the program first to convince ourselves, me and also my team, that the steps that we do to eliminate these bottlenecks will eventually lead to a higher production. And we've got all the confidence, not only from us, but also from numerous technical due diligence that we've gone through, that this list of technical projects will result in a higher output than we currently do.
Great, thank you, Sietse. And one question about the location of the Spanish factory. So why do you want to build a factory in Murcia and not in Valencia? Curious if you have an answer.
Yeah, so we are 4 years, and this is the beautiful part of our jobs. We have done field research in Spain multiple times, and why do we choose the southeast of Spain over the south of Spain, or maybe even somewhere north in the east, like farther up north, like Valencia? In the southeast of Spain, Murcia, we unlock both the peel coming available from the Valencia region, as well as we unlock the peel coming available from the Sevilla and Malaga region. So we are literally in the heart and in the middle of the citrus industry, with a lot of juicers active in that region. And I think that's a second reason for us, from a strategic angle, and not from a supply chain angle, but from a strategic angle, we chose deliberately to collaborate with multiple not that large juice companies, instead of going for one very large juicer, just to make sure we are not too dependent from one supplier of peel. And there's a high concentration of juicers or factories producing peel with juice as a byproduct in that region.
Clear, thank you, Bas. There's one question about the numbers in the minimum scenario. And for that question, I would advise that we have direct contact, because we cannot go into these specific numbers right now. But I think it's good to have direct contact. So I don't know, Sietse, Bas, are you willing to answer this question and maybe share your email so we can make sure that this answer,
Sure.
gets answered?
Yeah, so the goal for us in this Q&A is to be transparent, to tell, to answer the question. So if it's not possible to do it right now in this call for whatsoever reason, sure, we will circle back via email.
Yeah, great. And I think that's a general call to action for everybody. I think that's a nice bridge as well, is that if you have more further in-depth questions, Bas and or Sietse are very willing to have one-on-one calls with you. So if you feel like, you need more information or you want to deep dive, this is your opportunity basically to contact them. And I think there as well, it's good if we follow up with communication details so you can book these meetings. So we will make sure you get a meeting link. With regard to time, I would like to ask Roderick one final question, and also other questions that have not been addressed in the webinar. We will make sure to address them all and upload them on the updates part of the PeelPioneers project page. So if you've missed your question, please go to the PeelPioneers page after this webinar, maybe end of day tomorrow, to give the team some time. So Roderick, of course, you told us about how Invesdor works and your due diligence process, etc. But what eventually made Invesdor convinced, let's say, you guys to team up with PeelPioneers? I think that's an important question.
Yeah, Yeah, good one. Yeah, actually, it's a little bit threefold, but the main reason is that we see a great fit with our goals, with the goals of PeelPioneers. They are an innovative, game-changing company that solves the big peel waste issue that's out there, and they do it in a really nice and circular way. They are producing components that we find in all our day-to-day products. And yeah, this is a great fit with what we want to do. We want to finance companies that contribute to the sustainable development goals. And what we like the most is companies that do it with a technology or with products that we all know, that all our investors know. And we think that's very clear here. Second to that, PeelPioneers, they are doing really well. They are growing every year. They have proven that they found a circular business model that's also scalable, and they can expand this nationally and internationally. So the opportunity is really big. So with every euro that we invest right now, we can make a lot of more impact in the future. And the third one is they already mentioned it, but they are backed by a group of very solid and professional investors all around Europe, and we like to cooperate with them. So we like that our investors can invest along funds like those, because we believe that the benefit of a crowdfunding campaign is even better for a company if there are funds like those involved. So this combination of three factors made us very enthusiastic about fundraising for PeelPioneers.
All right, clear. Thank you, Roderick. There's one final question that we won't address today, but could you kindly explain the concept of linear repayment system? So
I could answer it really fast.
Yeah, can you do that quickly?
That's fine. So imagine you invest 1,000 euros, then every year you will get 10% accrued on this investment. So if the conversion moment is after 3 years, you will have 3 years of interest. So that's 300 euros of interest. And then if you then decide to not convert, this 1,300 euros, the 1,000 plus 300 will be repaid linearly in 2 years, because the total tenor or maturity of the loan is 5 years. So after 3 years, there's 2 years remaining. Every quarter in these last 2 years, you will get an equal part of this 1,300 euros repaid. It's like a mortgage. You have to pay part of your loan back every quarter or every month in that sense. So it's divided by 8 quarters if it's for 2 years, and the interest will keep being added to that. So to the part that has not been repaid yet, you will receive the 10% interest also after these 3 years.
All right, thank you, Roderick. That was fast indeed. I hope that was clear. If any questions come up with regard to this topic, then please reach out to the investor support contact point. So I would like to thank everybody. I would like to remind everybody that if you feel the urge of having a conversation with Bas and Sietse in person, let's say a digital meeting, please reach out to us. We will follow up with the link where you are able to book this meeting. And thank you so much, Bas, Sietse, Roderick.
Thank you, Sabine, and thanks to all joining this call. We are very proud that you are here in this call, taking the time in the middle of this busy Thursday. And we are very inspired, very motivated to get you all on board on our beautiful journey, on our circular and upcycling journey. So thank you very much and enjoy your day.
Thank you.